Hi, it's Jill and Jez here again with Come Crafting with Jill and Jez. So this is our second Facebook Live replay that we did for World Card Making Day on Saturday. Jill did the first session and I did the second session, and I used plaid tidings. No, perfectly plaid. I used plaid tidings paper and I used perfectly plaid stamp set and punch, and I actually managed to make 5 cards all together using just the one 6x6 sheet of DSP, obviously stacks of cardstock and other things, but yes, so those were the 5 cards. I just made these 2 in the Facebook Live and finished the other 2 off, but did walk through how to sort of cut the paper and create the other cards as well. And those are Jill's.
I crafted along with her. Haven't quite finished this one, and the paper's not cut quite straight there, so ignore that. But I made 2 cards too.
Yeah. So hope you enjoy the fun, and if you would like to join us, we'll put a link to the Facebook group down below, and you can join the group and take part in some of our challenges and win some prizes.
Enjoy.
So it's my turn to craft now, and we're using perfectly plaid and the punch. I have used some dies and some embossing folders as well, but I have made one card where I don't use any of those things, so I'll probably make that card first. But I've basically done a one sheet wonder, and so probably the thing to do now is just go transition down onto my desk so you can see what I've made and how to sort of cut your 6x6 sheet to get 5 cards. Yay. Okay, so I now can't see the camera, so you have to tell me if I go out. So I have made 5 cards out of one sheet of 6x6. So I always think when everybody's like you get this many cards out of one sheet wonder, obviously plus cardstock of different things, but you know, I've used one sheet of perfectly plaid to make these 6 cards. So I will show you how I cut it, but I probably won't have time to make all 6 of the cards. Right, just yeah, I've got us on the screen, and I can see that I'm not quite in focus, not quite in the square, am I?
No, I think it's it's fine. Fine, as long as you stay in that central position, you'll be fine.
Yeah, so you can see all 5 cards now, can't you?
I'm just
okay.
Trying to find my plaid tiding. I had it this morning, obviously. Do you think I can find my pack of paper now?
No. No. So I'm going for this sheet this time, and this one I just used the same side on all of them, and I thought this time we might do flip it over a bit. So we're going to do some in Pretty Peacock and some in Melon Mambo. Okay, so I'm going to do this card first because this doesn't require any embossing folders, but I will show you how I cut the paper in order to be able to get your elements to make the 5 cards.
I'm going to use
okay. So what I did was cut a 2-inch strip off. So we've got 2x6 and a 4x6. So that's the first cut. First cut is the deepest. Couldn't sing really. And then what I did was I take the stitched rectangles and I cut.
Is that the biggest one, Jez?
That's the biggest one. And I used the next one down and I cut a frame. So that is the frame for this card here. And I also am using the stitched nested dies, and I cut, those are all my spare bits, fling it here, fling it there, and then I cut, did I cut the biggest one? No, the next one down, second one down, I cut it out of that middle before I did the frame. So you cut it out of the middle section, and then you can just squeeze the frame out of it for this one. Okay, and then you've got the frame and the middle bit for that, and then you've got that bit there for this one. Is that clear?
Yeah, which size stitched label the diamondy one in the middle? Which size is that?
The second biggest.
Second biggest. Okay. So do I have to cut these all at the same time?
No, no, I didn't cut them all at the same time. And it would actually be easier, I'm just looking at it now, if you went for the third biggest and then you aren't actually squeezing it too much. I did do it on the second biggest on that one. I will do that. I'm going to stick to what I've done. So it is not very easy to do it all in one go because of it being quite tight. So I'm going to bring in the shot of big. My trusty big shot. I haven't upgraded it. I might do if anything ever happened to it, but at the moment you're working, aren't you? So this is the largest stitched rectangle, so I'm going to run this through at a slight angle. I was just double checking myself I had the right one. So going at a slight angle because it goes through easier. Where's my top plate? I must have left it over here, soz. So there, I thought I'd got everything, but I haven't. So just run that through. So there we've got a nice stitched mat, and then we go in the middle with this one and sort of center it. I've got a magnetic plate, so I can center it on there nicely. It'll all go horribly wrong now. Hi Karen, hi Julie, hi Karen too. And hi to my sister.
I think it's a rule in Pootlas that you have to be called Karen.
Yeah. So now we've got that. Now we want our frame. So now it's just easier doing it this way, but because it is really sort of close at the points. So now I went back in with this one.
I love this paper as well, Ivy. It's lovely.
I really loved last year's, and when they brought out this one, I was overjoyed.
Just cut mine out
because for me,
straight.
I've got.
Where's that? Don't know where the camera
so
is.
there we've got.
Mine
there we've got
straight.
those two bits. We've got that for another card, and then this one we can punch our trees out of. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and we've got a little scrap there which can be used for going behind the sentiments, which is what I sort of did. So I'm just moving this out the way now. There we go. So
well, that'd be great if I hadn't cut my stitched label on the wonk. My plaid.
Yes, that's why the magnetic plate really helps. Yeah. So as you can see, we've got those two to make that. I did do it initially without the frame, so you could do that, but then I felt that the frame gave it a little something. And then this is for that one, and then obviously I will be cutting a frame, be out of Melon Mambo to go round that one. So those bits done, and then out of this one, that's what we're going to cut our trees. And this is where I'm gonna use the opposite side, and I'm going to do some pretty peacock. So you can get 4 trees. Well, I have to do 1 in this, and I'm going to do those 3 in pretty peacock. So you can get, if you're really clever, you can get 4 out. So I've got 1 for that one. And so what I do, I go.
Hi, Janice. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we've all been there, Ivy. Last year's paper was way too pretty. I couldn't cut into it. We've all been guilty of that.
Oh. I keep it until it's just about to retire, and then I have a mad frenzy of using them.
So you're deliberately cutting yours not straight, aren't you?
Yeah, because it's only 2 inches. So, and the tree's a bit taller than 2 inches. So, or if you're in centimeters, it's about 5.5 centimeters. So it's just over the 2 inches. So, or I cut it wrong, but you can still get 4 out. Okay, that one's lost its top a bit, but never mind. Okie doke. So that's, I seem to have mislaid a tree. No, I haven't, because that one's stamped. All right. So that's how I cut the cardstock. So I'm going to make this one first. Because I didn't use.
You in saying it's easier to get through the 6x6 packs. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Quite so bad cutting into a 6x6 sheet as it does cutting into a 12x12.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I need my Whisper white mats. I do apologise. I meant to have them cut out at the beginning before we started, but I went into town. So yeah, I was going to put a star on top, Ivy. Yeah. So I have my trimmer marked up here with 3 notches, so that's my mats, so I don't have to think about it. So that's half, that's mat number 1, that's mat number 2, and I do them in different colors, so I don't even have to think about that it's 5 5/8. It's just the yellow mark, and that gives me my perfect mat. I work in inches. I know some people work in centimeters, but I'm still old school. So that's me mats for that one. We'll cut that one up in a bit. So that is a mat for the outside and a mat for the inside, because it's a piece of coloured cardstock. I always put a mat on the inside. And then on this, what I've done is I've just scored it, so it's got lines coming down rather than using an embossing folder, because not everybody's got them.
Can you show
so
just a bit more clearly, Jo, so we can see it?
Sorry,
can you show us on camera the embossing? Oh, that's better. I can see it now. Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
So you see just the lines going across there. So I do that by just scoring every 1/4 inch. You can do it on a trimmer if you've got a trimmer with a score blade and you haven't got a scoreboard. Just rub it in my hair a bit. There we go. So every 1/4 inch, and it gives you a nice straight line. We've had embossing folders that do straight lines, and I really like that look, particularly for masculine cards. And having two sons and their dad and a brother and two brother-in-laws on Ed's side, and one actually on my side. I do make a lot of mail cards.
Yeah.
So that's, is that visible?
Yeah, no, that is really good. You just need to come into the centre a bit more. Go to your right a little bit more. That's better. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I stood up so I could see.
Yeah.
So you can choose which side you want it. That side or that side. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Valerie. So yeah, so it's whichever. On this one, I went for the deboss. I might do the emboss on this one just so we can see the difference.
Valerie, saying what are your mat sizes, please?
Right. Okay. So this is standard C6, so it's 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. So my mat sizes are 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. And now, after 3.5 years of doing it, I now can just reel it off the top of my head. Whereas before, I used to always have to have it written down and look it up. But now it just rolls off my tongue. So that's that. And then I cut these little mats, and I have actually completely forgotten what size I cut for them. So yeah, I thought I did. So the little white one is 2 by 3 1/4. So the mat around the outside, always do 1/4 inch fatter and taller, so that I get an 1/8 inch border. That's just what I do. Obviously, if you like your borders thinner or fatter, that one will work. Then you know what you're sometimes if it's a really small piece, I might do a 1/16 of an inch, so I might only make it an 1/8 inch bigger, but it's 2 inches, isn't it? Yeah, so cut that at 2 inches, and then it was 3 1/4. So, and then we just need a mat in Melon Mambo. I forgot to bring the little extra bit. There's my bright. So there's it's a Melon Mambo.
Thank you for joining us.
So this will be 3 1/2. I might do it that way. So this will be 2 1/4 that way, 3 1/2 that way. So that mat's behind there, like so. And then that piece I cut off there will cut up with the classic label punch, which is behind me. So I'm just going to cut that. I need an arm. So all these little strips that I cut off when I'm matting and layering, I sort of keep them so I can attach a little arm. I've got a rubbish stick it thing there, which doesn't have nothing, so it's really good for doing things like that. And then the little bit of sticky on the top will just come away. That's how I use my little bits. So then I want that little scrap there. I can do my little sentiment. So I've got Happy Christmas here. This is from the, is it Well Said or Well Written? Well Said. No, Wish for Everything. So the Wish for Everything, what I do at this time of the year, I stick Happy Christmas on one of these little blocks and it stays on there, because the happy and the Christmas are separate. So I've lined it up, tested it out. It is straight, and that stays there until I finish making Christmas cards.
Takes a while to line it properly, doesn't it?
Yeah, so once it's on, I leave it on. That's my little tip. And although it's got this cling on it, and people say, oh, you'll never get it off if you stick it on that long. Yeah, I've never had a problem. I did it last year. I did it for Easter. And so it's not a problem, I find. That's not to say if you do it, it won't be stuck forever. Disclaimer. Just that's my little disclaimer. Yes. Don't be having a go at me if you try it and it doesn't work. Right, so I'm just stamping that on there. That's my little happy Christmas. And what I did was I trimmed a bit. So I trimmed a bit off the Y end and the C end so they could be closer together.
Yeah.
And I've trimmed a bit off the bottom of the happy and the top of the Christmas, because sometimes I have the happy on top of the Christmas. Yeah. And I do that because they weren't close enough. So and then this I'm making a slightly bit smaller, so I need an arm again. So
is anyone else? Yes, I'm trying to keep up, but I'm behind here.
Am I going too fast?
No, you're fine. It's me.
I only got through one card that you made.
Trying to remember where my scoreboard is. I haven't used it for so long.
Mine lives on the floor next to me. So now I'm going to stick that. You can either just stick it under there, or you can go back in and do it. I don't know why I did that, because I actually prefer doing it this way, because you run the risk of punching into it. So I just feed it back in there. So that makes me happy Christmas a little bit smaller, so that it will mat nicely on that one. It's actually a little bit bigger than I want, so I'm going to take a little bit off this.
So Ivy's saying, my heart did a little flip when you said cut into it. It's better again now. So which cut into what, Ivy? The paper or the stamps?
Be the paper, wouldn't it? I expect.
But that's what it's there for. And that sounds.
I know, but I always do a little bit of a. Oh, I've cut it now.
I know. I always have to have a little bit left over just in case. I can't ever use a whole sheet up, just in case I need that other bit.
Yeah. So now I'm just taking the Tombow, sticking it down, and of course you could.
Oh, the stamps, obviously, she's saying. Yeah, a lot of people don't.
Oh, cutting into stamps. Yeah, I cut my stamps up all the time.
Yeah, me too. I get a lot of comments that if I say, "Oh, I'm gonna cut this stamp, this sentiment apart because I only want this bit," and people go, "Oh no."
This one. Hope that your busy year comes together in Christmas cheer. So I just use Christmas cheer, so I cut it off.
Yeah, me too.
You can still put them together.
Yeah.
So, but as they said once on stage, these are tools, not jewels.
Yeah.
Unlike my nail technician tells me about my nails, they are jewels and not tools. But I use them.
Yeah, that's why.
So there we go.
That's why I can't have my nails done, because my nails are definitely tools, and I can't be.
Yeah.
My daughters once paid for me to have a manicure for my birthday. It literally lasted 10 minutes. I'd by the time I walked from where it was a health spa, and there was a garden room that you could go in and have a coffee to while they dried properly. And by the time I got to the garden room, I'd smudged them.
Yeah.
Such a waste of time. I do paint my toes in the summer, and they last longer.
Yeah.
But I can't do my fingernails. I agree to disagree, says Ivy. Stampectomy, Janice says.
That's good. So I'm just sticking this in here, centering it. Which is why I like Tombow.
Somebody, when I cut up a set of stamps that have now retired, or only one of the stamps, and I put them in my 2-for-1 sale on my blog, and somebody sent me a comment and said, how could I possibly sell the stamp set when I defaced it so badly? And I thought, well, made it more usable for me, so maybe it's more usable for someone else.
So then that sticks on there with a nice little bit of margin. If I hadn't made the Happy Christmas one a bit smaller, then all I'd have done is cut the Melon Mambo one in half and stuck it at the ends. But
yeah,
and that fits in there nicely. What I did there was I put a bit of DSP either side, but you can't hardly see it, so I'm not bothered. You can pop these up on dimensionals if you want to, but I'm popping up the whole panel. And if you go 2-dimensional height, then it turns it into large letter. Whereas 1-dimensional will go normal post.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. There was once a great big queue in our post office because I made the postman put it through the little thing for everybody. Went, well, they're all large letter. I went, they're not actually, because some of them aren't as high. And so
some of them have only got
80,
dimensional.
I think I had 86 Christmas cards, and I made him put all of them through his machine. And there was less than half. I think it was about 30 out of the lot that were large letter. The queue was out the door by the time I'd finished.
See, I've got my own little machine, so I don't have to go to the post.
Yeah, I have now. I've got a little plastic doodah.
It's very confusing, the Royal Mail sizes, though. Oh, Ivy is saying beautiful cards, Jez.
Oh, thank you, Ivy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my little one, Jill.
Yeah. They're good. I use it all the time.
There we go. I think this was the one I said this morning. I put a ridiculous amount of dimensionals on this one. Goodness only knows how many's on there. But I always put 5 on this one. It'll do. My nails are certainly tools when it comes to picking these off. Yeah. And if I didn't have my acrylics, I'd never be able to pick them off because I don't have any nails normally. This was my little 2020 treat.
Oh, Ewan saying, where can you get those tools? I think I bought mine on eBay, Ewan. Just search for Royal Mail postage measure.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I searched for, but they were on eBay, quite cheap. Or Amazon.
I got given mine, so my friend ended up with 2, so she gave me 1. So that's that one. So that's the Melon Mambo version. I quite like doing Christmas in different colours. So that's that a one. So let's do a pretty peacock one. So all the others required a bit of embossing and some more dice. So this one I did a bit of tone on tone. So and I used the that textile-y embossing folder, but I'm going to change this one to the snow one, I think, because I like that one. Could use any embossing folder I could. Or shall I do another? Shall I not emboss? And shall I do another one where I do that?
Got a lot of very positive comments here. Lovely cards. Several people saying.
Thank you. I'm just gonna do the middle bit because then I forget, and then it comes to Christmas and it's like I've got all these cards to do middles in.
Yeah. I've just cut up a whole load of Whisper White panels ready to put inside cards. I've got a whole pile of them.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
Because I was doing them one at a time, and I thought this takes so much time. So I just cut up, and we got those. So we got as demos, we got 2 free packs of Whisper White for a promotion that they did. So half of one of my packs I just cut up into panels.
Yeah, I was going to do it with one of them. I mean, I still will, because the pack's still in the drawer. So this is, I'm going to cut 2 of these. So what I do is score it down all the way down the center. I'm not the only one that's done this, and I'm sure you've all done this. Did my score line, and then I can cut it in half. And then I've got 2 card bases straight away. And what I do is, because sometimes, although I find with this trimmer it's nearly always bang on, and then I butt it up against the top of the trimmer and give it a good burnish. How are we doing for time? Because I can't see a clock.
20 to 4.
Oh, I'm all right then, aren't I?
Yep. I'm booked for a walk at 4:15, so as long as you don't go past that.
Right, so I'm going to I'll do this with the scoring again instead of the embossing folder. Minimize the amount of times I have to bring the big shot on. I did mean to die cut that square, but we literally got back from town at about 22, and I hadn't tidied away. I hadn't tidied away the previous card, so
you in saying
I'm going to need to order lots of white card dimensionals.
Ready for my Christmas cards? Yep, especially Christmas cards. Yeah. What I remembered this week though was I was having a sort out of some of my other stash that I had pre-Stampin' Up days. I had some white card, and I put it in amongst my stash and thought I will use that. That's fine. It's just white card. And I went to use it, and I thought this is just not as nice as Whisper White. I can't use it.
Yeah.
I have a box because I've been clearing out my craft room, and I've got a big box that I keep putting stuff in. I'm going to give it to my friend to take into her school, and so all this white card just went in there. So I just thought this. Yeah. I keep looking at it and thinking I should use it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not as smooth, and it's not quite such a nice white as Whisper.
No.
And I know that sounds ridiculous when you're talking about white, but there really is a difference. So.
Yeah. I'm going to change this up a bit. I'm going to put a mat around this one, just so we can see a bit of a difference. Which means I have to trim the one I've just...
I'm going off piste a bit here, I'm afraid.
That's okay. Don't mind that. So I'm going to cut this white one down now to the smaller, my second mat size, which is 3 5/8 by 5 3/8. And because you're never going to see that middle, I gut it. So I go to 1/4 inch, gone to 1/2 inch that side, start at about 1/2 inch here, stop 1/2 inch short of the other side.
You're very good. I can never be bothered to do that.
I'm just frugal or tight.
Thrifty.
Sometimes I would have die cut this had I not been doing this. I would have cut it out as a die, but I'm just trying to be quick. So doing it that way, I always have to go back in and sort of snip a bit usually, but it's...
Oh, hello, Chris. Someone else has joined us. Got 18 people watching now, Jez. Not to mention.
Wow. Obviously a bit of a better time for people.
Everyone was busy doing chores this morning.
Yeah. So when I do this, what I have to do is glue this bit on first. So that one's sort of tone on tone. I did something similar last Christmas. I did it with Very Vanilla, and I did gold embossing.
It looks classy
on the tree. Oh. I do like vanilla and gold at Christmas.
I'm really liking Pretty Peacock for cards this year.
I love Pretty Peacock,
Yeah,
which is partly why I like with it. I will miss it.
Yeah.
So now I do need to die cut the stitched square.
Oh, Fran missed as well. We'll put it on the group, Fran, so you'll be able to watch back at your leisure.
Yeah, and I'll put the I'll put pictures of the cards on there as well.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I forgot to do that. I went and took photos of my cards in the break, but I didn't put them on the group. But I will do in a bit.
So then we get my most used die set ever. These stitched shapes. I think I would go into actual mourning when and if they retire. I say if, I think they should stay forever.
Yeah, good old staples.
And what I usually do, so this is cut as a, this is my other being tight, being frugal. So this is a mat, and I'm going to cut this out of the middle of it so that if I was matting a colour mat on top of this, then you ain't going to see it and I can sort of still use it. Go slightly at an angle because it goes through your die cutter better if it's slightly at an angle rather than straight on. Yeah, I think lots of people are fans of these stitch. I do find that they stitch proper to it, and it's sometimes getting them out I find quite hard. And I sometimes bend them. Right. Move that off.
I've made one of my cards. I used a different greeting. I used the arrange a wreath for Merry Christmas. But that's my card finished with the. Can you see the embossing there? Can't see that very well, can you? It has got the embossing.
No, but that's lovely. You've done yours. You've done a different size as well, which is great.
Yeah, I just did it by eye. Can't be measuring.
Well, I did it initially. I just cut a piece, and then I thought, oh, people are going to want to know how big this is.
Yeah.
And it was just lucky it was a reasonable size. So the tree fits quite nicely inside this square, I find. So stick that one up on dimensionals as well. I just add the packet of dimensionals. But I moved things. There we go. So checking I haven't stuck it on the wrong side, because you need to. There is a wrong and a right side to these stitched doodahs. Is the lighting all right? Because I've got like 2 lamps.
Yeah.
I know it's quite late in the day now to be asking if my lighting's all right. Now that I'm on my second card.
Coming up for 10 to 4.
Okay, so I will. I think I've flipped this dimensional cover because I don't want to come off. There we go. I'll probably just get this one done, but that's 2 cards, isn't it? And that's what you did this morning, wasn't it? I thought an hour I'd be ambitious to get the 5 of them done, but I wanted to show you how to cut the that might be on the wonk, but there you go. And so I need Pretty Peacock for the sentiment. I've got one of these little strips. So this is one of the little strips that I cut off, and they fit the classic label punch perfectly. So I always keep them for doing this, as well as having as an extender arm. So just, that's really on the wonk. Not that it matters because it's been thingy, but
Ivy's saying it's great. I'm not.
Thank you.
Not sure what's great, but
crafting on a Saturday afternoon is great.
Yeah. Well, the weekends are my stamping time because the rest of the week I'm working on my other business. So the weekend is my stamp time. I quite look forward to my weekends. I'm so sad I don't have a social life anymore. Don't go anywhere, so.
Well, nobody has a social life at the moment, do they?
No. Oh, the lighting is great.
Oh,
excellent.
Cheers.
Sorry, Ivy, the comments come through a bit behind time, so by the time they come through, we've moved on to something else.
So I'm doing this again. I'm just going to make this slightly smaller again so that I can punch a Pretty Peacock one, and it'll just sit on it. I always find I have to do this twice. For some reason it don't go through. There, that one. Sometimes it doesn't go very far in.
Yeah.
I find. So then I'm just gonna cut one of them. And I'll just trim it down a bit. Oh, some people think that's a bit of a faff, Jez, but I don't mind. I don't mind my faffing about to get it right. There we go. I always say that about me tying a bow. It takes me 2 minutes to tie it and then about 20 minutes to faff.
Tweak it.
Until I like it. Oh. So I have managed to do one of each colour, which is good. That's what I wanted to do. And I think I'll talk through once more about how to do the other ones. So I'm gonna, where's my mini ones? I haven't got much left of a mini one there. Take the end. Where's my scissors? There they go. Just take the edge of that. That will work. And because this is thick whisper white, I don't need a mat in the middle. So this will be done when this goes on.
Karen says, loving your cards. I'm spectating for now, but I'll definitely have a go.
Oh, lovely.
Karen.
There we go. Is that on the wonk? That's fine. There we go. So that is 2 versions of that. So that's just what it looks like with a bit of a matte round and not a matte round. And that's those 2 which I sort of made almost identical. So I move them up a little bit. There we go. This one's telling me I've got there. It was telling me my battery was low. So there we go. And then the ones I haven't done, just to walk you through it again. So this one, when I make it up, I will have a Melon Mambo base, a Whisper White mat, and on that one I've embossed it with the snowflake one. And then I just cut a little frame out of, it would be Melon Mambo, and then I stick me Melon Mambo tree in the middle. So it's kind of like that, but done differently. So it was just a different way of doing it. So you could just stick another one of those on top. So, but basically it's identical, but I just chose to do the frame.
Is the negative on?
So yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite, but yeah. And then this one. Let's manage to stick on there. This one I used. Where's my bit that I've cut? Oh, it's there. I couldn't see. I was like, where's it gone? It was there. Mm-hmm. So on this one, I've got a Whisper White base and stuck that on it. I'm going to have a tree in the middle. I did ho 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 in this one, but I have embossed it. So there's embossing on the inside of that. But that's the deboss. I got that from Heather. She sent me a card and it was debossed and I quite liked it. And then I just put a frame around it, which you can choose to do or not to do, but I quite liked it. And then I cut it down because these are sized for American size. So I cut it down to 5.5, so it fitted better. And then this last one, that's again on a white. And that's the frame around that.
Yeah.
And that I would stamp Melon Mambo on a bit of white.
Yeah, I've half made that one, but I haven't got sentiment on it yet.
So that's how you do that. But I won't put them together because we'll be here for another hour. So, oh, brilliant! Yes, exactly, lovely. So I'll flip back up now, shall I?
Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. Thanks for watching so much, everybody.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and your World Card Making Day. Yeah. I'm going to finish these off and then go and lie down.
Yeah. Right. Cheers then. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.